A very good day to you. Welcome to Herman Manyora's YouTube channel. My name is Jedel Kibra. So glad that you're joining us once again for our political conversation. Today we're talking about Azimio la Umoja. We've had conversations about ODM, who's going to take leadership there. But we want to know about Azimio la Umoja. Without Raila Odinga there, is Kalonzo the right full heir of Raila Odinga in Azimio la Umoja? Prof, thanks for making time for me. Is it obvious that Kalonzo Musyoka is to take the leadership from Raila Odinga, not just as a flag bearer, but to hold Raila's house in order?
It looks most likely. Yeah, he's the most obvious. But there's nothing obvious in politics. That's the problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does he have the it thing to become the flag bearer and to hold that house in order? Talking about ODM, Wiper, and all other affiliates of Azimio la Umoja, including Jubilee Party.
You know, the obvious answer from many people will be no. But again, like Bill Clinton said, there is no experience for White House. You just have to go there and become president and do your thing. So we may be thinking Kalonzo Musyoka doesn't have what it takes because he hasn't been in that position of leadership. You give him Azimio and he could call the house to order. But if you ask people, many people don't see him having that.
Why do you think he lacks that, 100% acceptability from people? Because you'd hear someone say, Sifuna is very good. He's very good for ODM. It seems like he can hold ODM. Why doesn't Kalonzo have that?
Factor.
Yeah, that factor, O factor.
He doesn't have it. Kalonzo doesn't have. He lacks color. And his past sort of betrays him. Very close association with Kanu and Moi for many years. Blue-eyed boy for Kanu, Moi, and loyal and meek, humble, Musalia Mudavadi type. Then running in 2007, when he knew he was not going to win, because then Raila would have won. I'm not saying he didn't win. If winning is going to State House, then Kibaki and his team would not have done what they did. Raila would have been sworn in if Kalonzo had not gone. So that image is still disturbing him. And then he proceeds to form government with Kibaki, without which Kibaki was not going to sell in the country.
Without Kalonzo?
Yeah. The credibility he needed, legitimacy, was handed by Kalonzo. Otherwise, Kibaki was not going to run the country. As if that's not enough, a few other things have happened after that that make people look at him and wonder like he's not quite steady.
Then is he a national figure? The thing with Raila Odinga is that he's accepted well in Coast, Siaya. We saw him climbing Mount Kenya. Northeastern, he's very well accepted. Is this Kalonzo too? Because if you're going to take over the opposition, you need to at least have a grasp of the whole nation. Does he have it?
You can't be Raila. You can only be yourself. Kalonzo is Kalonzo, it's not Raila. And certainly he cannot have the whole country. Kenya is so tribal. To cut across this, you can only be a Raila to do it. Not many people can do it. Really, give credit to Raila Odinga. To cut across the entire nation in such a tribally charged country at the political level, it's nothing short of a miracle. But what is more important, and I think which is saving grace for Kalonzo Musyoka, you don't have to.
Oh.
Yeah. Uhuru didn't command, Kibaki didn't command the whole country. Actually, out of the 8 provinces then, I think Kibaki had just 2.
Then how did he arise?
Raila had 6.
How did Kibaki arise to power, and how can we relate?
You see, that's what I'm saying. You can. Uhuru, with his Jubilee, TNA and then Jubilee, they didn't have anything beyond Rift Valley and Central. Just a bit of perhaps some other place, but nothing. They didn't have 3/4 of the country. They didn't have even half of the country. They were alone 3/4. Ruto didn't have half of the country. He didn't get to half of the country. You look at the map, these are facts.
Yes.
Sometimes when you say, Kenyans are so tribal and so childish and so parochial sometimes, some Kenyans, They argue about the facts. We were all following the election. We all saw the map of Kenya. It was blue everywhere, except for some parts of Rift Valley, not even all of it, and Mount Kenya. The rest was blue.
We saw the map.
We saw it. There were some people who even want to dispute. But Ruto is the president. And even if there was some gerrymandering, some little engineering, it wasn't with 1 million votes, perhaps, or less.
So you need to know where to get those numbers.
So that Kalonzo does not have to have a national appeal in terms of getting support across the country to be president. Because others have been president without anything as close to 50% of the country.
What does he need to have to actually arise into a position of leadership in Azimio la Umoja, and if he's to be the flag bearer here in the country?
You know, everybody has their own demons. You deal with your demons. So Kalonzo must deal with his demons.
Which are?
He's not forceful. He must learn to be forceful. He doesn't know how to make friends. He must know how to make friends. He doesn't have resources. He must mobilize resources. And the little he has, he doesn't know how to spend. He doesn't spend. He must know how to spend. I've told people money and politics go together. Even in America, the seriousness of a candidate is evidenced in the fundraising. Ama?
True.
So you need to have resources. People say Raila doesn't spend. It may not be true. But again, Raila does not need to spend.
He has different...
Yes, you are not Raila. You are not Kibaki. Kibaki didn't spend. But there were people to spend on his behalf. The Kikuyus who believe this thing is theirs, the rich Kikuyus, they were there to spend. Kibaki wasn't spending a cent. He wouldn't spend his money. But there were people to spend on his behalf. Uhuru wasn't spending his money.
Oh, really?
Oh, of course. But there were people to spend money.
So
when Raila left government, or began attacking government after Kibaki had rubbished the MOU they had, Kibaki's presidency was under threat. It is rich Kikuyus who quickly reached out to people from Kanu, from other small parties, to join and help Kibaki to become minister. It was not Kibaki. Uhuru the same. Uhuru has not had to spend his resources because there are people to defend the kingdom. So if you are not Uhuru, you are not Kibaki, you are not Raila, please, you have to accept that you are not any of these three. And circumstances do not favor you. So you must fundraise. It shouldn't even be difficult for Kalonzo Musyoka if he's surrounded by the right people. Again, a Kenyan problem. People like people who sing their praises. Hey, ulisikia vile uliongea Kisii jana? Oh, Wakisii wamebadilika wote. They want hearing that. But if I went there and tell him, Kalonzo, do you know many people believe you are going to succeed Raila? And therefore, if you begin fundraising now, you will receive billions of shit. He won't want to listen to me. He will want to listen to those who are telling him how he was well received in this, which of course is not true. Right now, the moment, the people who give the big money, it is an investment for them. That's how politics works across the world. All they need to see is your potential. You run out of the pack, you'll be surprised at people who will contribute to you. So what Kalonzo needs to do is to move into the phase of resource mobilization and to learn how to use resources and how to make friends and how to appeal to the psyche of the Kenyan voter. How to move away from Ukambani. How to make sure in Ukambani there are no 10 votes that will go elsewhere. 10. I'm not talking of 100. I've just talked of 10 votes that will go elsewhere. And you don't even need to do it yourself. The moment you put yourself at a certain level, everybody knows, hey, opposing Kalonzo is it's dangerous for me. I will never survive. So that everybody knows if they are not in your party in Ukambani, they can't win a set. Unawacha hiyo. Then you go to the next region. There are so many kambas along the coast. How do you consolidate? Help them get friends for you in those areas. Then you have a strategy to take Raila's constituency. How do you do it? Again, you sit with people who can think through these things. Not people who tell you how well you looked in that jacket.
What is the place there of other principles in Azimio la Umoja? We have Martha Karua, We have Eugene Wamalwa. I believe Wajakoya is still there.
Yes,
What
yes.
is the place for them? Do they have a chance of taking
They
over
will
the
also want to
leadership?
be president. And there are two things here. Number one, if they got that, all of them will sink. Kenya is not ready for one of them. Kenya is ready for a movement.
For all of them.
A movement. Who becomes the president should be material. They should never even talk about it. And that is the genius I'm looking for from Kalonzo. To get all these leaders, including wannabes, and sit down with them. Collectively, individually, and so on and so forth, because he's a politician, to get to accept him as the undisputed king, as the only way of having a chance against Ruto. So it's a tall order.
What is the place of ODM, the party, in Azimio politics? Because you listen to the likes of Joho saying they are going for the presidential ticket, and if they are going with ODM, they'll have to go with Azimio la Umoja. What is the place of ODM when it comes to these principles making their decisions? Because actually it's generally believed if Kalonzo is going to be the flag bearer, the running mate will come from ODM, either Oparanya or Joho or Edwin Sifuna. How will that dynamics come into play?
ODM, their fate is tied with Kalonzo Musyoka. Because against all odds from 2013, CORD, 2017 NASA, 2022 Azimio, Kalonzo has supported Raila against all odds. The last time he said he'll be a fool, he'll be stupid to support Raila, but he ended up supporting him. If they do not support Kalonzo and pick any of these people, ordinary people we are seeing, they will be doing great disservice to themselves. They will sink. Nobody will ever trust them, and they will remain a small community, and the party will remain a Luo party. The only way Raila can ignore Kalonzo if he did something dramatic. Yeah, something dramatic by bringing somebody completely outside the principles here. Not Wajakoya,
Not Martha Karua.
not Mother Kalua, not my friend Mwangi area. Not Oparanya, not Eugene Wamalwa. Outside that circle now, and I've given an example of Sifuna, someone like that. It would have been Babu, but Babu now is a little still kidogo, hajaiva sana at that level. Yeah. Somebody's completely different, or a woman somewhere, a young woman. Somebody, what?
Her factor must be there.
You get it?
Yes.
But if he picks Oparanya or Joe as opposed to Kalonzo, they are dead on arrival. They won't even go anywhere. It's a waste of time. I'll advise Joe and Oparanya, don't try that game. Compete for being the deputy to Kalonzo. And there again, Oparanya scores 0. He scores 0 because I've said this and think he may not like it. I hope he doesn't hear this. Deputizing Kalonzo, and you are also an old man. By the time Kalonzo is over, you are also too old. You'll be working with a...
He's 67 now, so
10 years will be...
by 2027,
By 2027, it will be 70.
10 years will be
80.
Or 5 years more, it will be 75.
Then you can't. The world has changed. Raila are the last people to play in this game at their age. Nobody else can. We can't.
So for someone to give Ruto a run for his money, it has to be someone extraordinary. Out
of this, somebody strange. Somebody just... You get it? Or it is a wave. Can they create a wave? Using the prevailing factors in the country? I very much doubt.
What is this thing with Edwin Sifuna that you see? For the past 3, 4, 5 videos that you've done, just saying Edwin Sifuna, Edwin
You know, I have an eye. I have an eye that sees things. Sometimes people say, I predict wrong. I'm not a prophet, but I see things. Some of the things I see, you may not see them today, but in the fullness of time, once again, in the fullness of time, people are beginning to say what you said was true. I could have said about UDA in the mountain, but the timing didn't come my way. But the things are already playing out. You see? The time was too short for what I was saying to happen. You know? But in the fullness of time, when in 2000, I told my friends, Uhuru is going to be your president. Either now or in future. I keep saying there's a guy who almost punched him in the senior common room. But for 10 years, Uhuru was their president.
So with Edwin Sifuna, what?
I am seeing here something. One, the Luhya are a very populous community. I'm hesitant to say the most populous because we must go by available statistics. And the available statistics is their number 2.
Yeah.
But inside me, I know they are number 1. And they are across the country. It's a sleeping giant. Unfortunately, unlike the Luos and the Kikuyu and the Kalenjin, they have not had somebody for a long time. There was Mudavadi, the old man, the late Moses Mudavadi. There was Wamalwa Kijana. There was Masinde Muliro. But they didn't quite also get to that level. Since then, there has been nobody. From a community as huge and as large as the Luhya community. And by the way, the Luhya is also one of, is a community that likes politics. You only need to go where there are elections, in circles, where, everywhere. There will always be a Luhya and a Kisi candidate and a Luo candidate. Sisi ni watu wa siasa. But we have not had that person to capture the imagination of the community for a long time. In the manner in which Natembea and Sifuna are now doing. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
That's why I'm focusing on this Sifuna. Earlier on, I had said Natembea, then he went down. Now he has again come up. Some people have been calling him Manyora. Kumbe, you had seen this Natembea guy. You remember a minute after the election, we even did a video with you. I said, this Natembea guy could be the Luhya leader of tomorrow. You remember that?
I couldn't see it.
You couldn't see it. Now you see?
Yeah.
Sifuna is carving a space for himself.
So as we're talking about Azimio, you see a ticket, Kalonzo Musyoka, Edwin Sifuna.
Somebody sent a video. I have a video on my phone. And somebody has fast forwarded in 2027. Election results that are coming in from Coast, Kalonzo so much. From Nyanza, Kalonzo so much, Uhuru so much. And who is the running, guess who is the running mate?
Who?
Sifuna. So people are also seeing, I have the video on my phone. I don't even know who sent it. In these group things. I think it's in a university wall or something like that. Sifuna with Kalonzo. And they beat Ruto. The guy is announcing the results are coming. You know that musical? Yeah. That you whatever, and then elections. The results are coming. Nobody's. You know that thing?
Yes.
I'll send it to you. It is Kalonzo and Sifuna, and they end up winning, region by region. Ruto beats them in Central. He beats them in Rift Valley. They beat him where finally they are the winners. So I'm not the only one who is seeing. People are already seeing it. The only problem with the Kenyan politics is that you need a lot of money. But things are changing. So people like Sifuna and Natembea do not have the sort of money that defines Kenyan politics. But 2 things. One, things are changing. Money may not be as important tomorrow as it is today. Secondly, like I've said today in this show, the moment your star shines to the level that people see you can be something, then you attract resources.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what a place to wrap up this conversation. Who do you think should take over the leadership of Azimio la Umoja? Leave a comment down below if it's Kalonzo, if it's Sifuna, or even if it's Wajakoya.